the relationship framework can be related to the business world.
So I think there's probably something about a kind of relational journey that we're maybe all familiar with.
But I think the transactional businesses that do well are those that simulate the relationship in some way.
Got to put the effort in both the marriage and the relationship, client relationships.
Yeah.
It's about effort and keeping it fresh.
Well, the human relationships anyway, whether they're in business or in relationships with a capital R, it's all about two people coming together that didn't know each other before for some mutual benefit, right? Which is business.
Are we on? We're on.
We're on. But I still need that red light, the big on-air light.
Well, that did result in disaster last time we mentioned on-air.
It did.
But yeah, so we're approaching Valentine's Day.
2 days away.
2 days away. So,
at the point of recording. You might be listening to this.
It could be, but when it goes live, and I thought, well,
were you getting all? Were you thinking, I know, I'm going to be in a darkened room with Dave for a podcast, and that
this could get romantic. Yeah, it did make me think.
Do we need like some red roses in the background of the studio? Or
but no, I was saying, I think it was last week's where I said I was a people person, and
I splattered on my tea.
Then your tea everywhere, and I was talking to my wife this morning. I said, well, we're going to do a podcast about Valentine's Day. I said, I'm quite romantic. And she had a sort of similar she had a similar reaction to that. But I thought, do you know what? I actually think I am quite romantic.
And what, pray tell, makes you think that?
Well, I started off well with my proposal. Not many people probably know the story.
Oh, right.
Wrapped myself up in a box on Christmas Eve on my wife-to-be's doorstep. And when she opened it, I leapt out with champagne and a ring and, all that.
Wow.
And I said, a riches for life, not just for Christmas.
Very
romantic.
And it worked, obviously.
It worked,
You've been married ever since.
Well, I tried 3 other doorsteps before that. They'd all said no. Yeah. So, eventually. Persistence, you see, there's a moral of the story.
That's a good
persistence.
Good attribute. So do you observe Valentine's Day?
Not really, no. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what.
In our household, it's definitely a day to criticise the card industry for over commercialising something.
I like to think every day is Valentine's Day.
That's a better attitude.
That's my attitude.
I'd rather observe something to
consistency rather than celebration.
Not just one day a year.
Every day.
Right, before this gets too gooey and we lose the rest of our audience, we should probably do a podcast.
About Valentine's Day.
About Valentine's Day. Okay, let's see how that goes. A spin on. Okay, let's see how that goes then. Hello and welcome to another episode of the SME Growth Podcast from Wellmeadow. Thanks again for tuning in. Every week we try and come up with something interesting and useful for owners and managers of small businesses. Every week. We're doing this every week.
Every week.
Episode 159. That's a lot of weeks. Anyway, so every week we do that.
Going to run out of dance finishes soon, aren't we?
We are. Yeah, well, we start to get into the difficult ones. I think we're getting about now. I think about 160 onwards. In the 160s, you get the ones that haven't got a finish. Yeah. So we could...
to find something else that we can...
Yeah, and when you get beyond 180, then we're definitely needing another sport.
Another game.
Exactly. So you suggested in the intro there to do an episode based on a Valentine's Day theme.
Well, actually, it was Meg that suggested it.
Oh, I see.
So
I see. Right now, you're disowning
So she said, you could do one. It's Valentine's Day coming up. Why don't you do a podcast on relationships?
So Meg's the romantic one, really.
Yeah.
And you're just grabbing the idea.
I'm just like,
but I did remember a couple of years ago, we did one based on a Shakespeare theme.
We did.
And turned a business topic into 7 Ages of Man.
Yeah.
That's well worth a look up for, if nothing else, a bit of a laugh. Episode 23.
Sometimes it's quite good, isn't it, just to do these things. It's just a little creativity exercise. Take a random subject like Valentine's Day and see if you can create...
You can ad-lib it.
Ad-lib it and come up with something interesting
and
that
something
you vibe off.
Always comes out of it.
I used to do that with my kids when they're little. I used to say, right, give me 5 ideas, 5 things, and I'll make a story incorporating those 5.
You should have been on the stage, Rich, honestly.
And I thought, well, it keeps you mentally agile,
the world
doesn't
of business
mentally agile.
Doesn't know what it's got. It's mists. It's performer.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So go on then. Business. What's the business topic we're going to turn in and give the Valentine's treatment to then? It's all about relationships.
Relationships,
I suppose,
yeah.
isn't it?
I think we've been quite tech focused recently. We've been talking about AI a lot.
We are naturally a bit tech focused and AI focused, yeah.
But just to prove that we're not,
Yeah.
total geeks.
Yeah. We have
And that
got a softer
and
side.
we can speak to girls.
Girls, who are they?
That we thought we'd do something on relationships, and it's important. I think actually, in a serious note,
Oh, we're going to be serious now.
business relationships are very important.
Well, I think you're right, and that's the serious note from it, because they're underplayed often, and there's a danger of, certainly in some organisations, it being reduced to just a set of numbers.
Yeah.
How many new deals, and what's the customer retention, the churn rate, and average spend per customer, and all this stuff. But ultimately, it's down to people buying from people, which is a bit of a cliche, isn't it? People always buy from people, but they do. If you were approached by someone selling something that you really, really needed, but you hated them, or you just didn't think they had your best interests at heart, you'd probably put some effort into finding someone else to get that thing from.
Well, I saw a recent LinkedIn post by Rory Sutherland, who we often
We've mentioned several times.
More frequently mentioned. So he's just joined another agency. I can't remember what they're called, but they do a lot of word of mouth marketing.
Yeah.
And he said one of the reasons that he joined them was because the CEO said, "I'd rather sell to 5 people on my street than 10 people all over the country," which I thought was quite interesting. Just thing to think about.
Yeah.
And then I think Rory Sutherland said something like, "Yeah, but I suppose depends what you're selling in a way, though, doesn't it? Hemorrhoid cream versus solar panels."
Yes. Okay.
But it's an interest. The point there is actually, it's that relational word of mouth kind of thing. So,
well, I think it's about that, knowing that someone else really does have your best interests at heart. I was triggered to think about this the other day, because it's over the time when people are getting used now to the meta change of business practice, where you have to now either choose to subscribe to their service, Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, or put up with the fact you get adverts. They've made it very explicit, which apparently is something to do with the legal change that's happened. And it triggered me to think, I don't trust these people.
no.
Too long they've been giving me adverts without my permission, assuming that they have the right to use my time carelessly. So I just deleted the app. That's me. I come off Instagram.
Join the club.
I know you were already there, so I mentioned
already
it.
there. And
because I didn't have a relationship with them.
No,
that I
you're a
felt
product.
grounded.
You're just a product. I keep saying that to people.
Yeah.
You're just a
If you're
product.
not paying for it, you're the product. Yeah.
So
do I need a social media platform to replace it with? Well, not one that does that. So even a mass-produced, one-to-many type of product like that, I don't expect them to ring me up personally, but
no,
I didn't feel as if it was something I wanted to be part of.
exactly.
So the relationship broke down. So okay then, so we're going to talk about relationships. You've probably got a bit of a model in mind here, have you, about the way relationships work and how that translates to business?
Were we going to talk about previous episodes quickly?
Oh gosh,
Recap.
Episode 159.
That's the model of the model of the podcast. Isn't
Gosh, I was getting carried away there. So go on then. What happened last week, Rich? Pray tell.
You got the
Oh yeah, I've got it written down here. Thanks, Meg. Put it on my side of the table. So this is episode 159. Episode 158 was a book review. Not the first, but first one we deliberately sort of set about doing in response to receiving a book from Yamini, the chief exec of HubSpot.
Yeah.
She sent you personally a book, gift
Personally a
wrapped
book.
with a little note inside it. Dear Rich,
Not
here's
quite,
a little gift from me.
Yeah.
And
thought
it
was
was
there.
called Co-Intelligence, the book, wasn't it? So that was quite interesting.
Working with AI. Yeah.
Working with AI, not being frightened it's going to take your job, but how do you use it intelligently and all that, which was good. It was a good little book, actually. So that was 158. 157, company vision in the age of AI, how to use AI to produce it and challenge it and articulate it. And then the week before that, we had a guest. Kristen Gilchrist came in, who's an organizational psychologist. And she spoke in particular about the psychology of business meetings, which was right up our street because we do lots of them.
Done a few of them. Yeah.
So there you go. So am I okay with that? Do I get a tick for that?
Tick for that.
The last 3 episodes.
I can move on.
Stuck to the format.
Yep.
Great. So, which brings us then to today's topic and how the relationship framework can be related to the business world.
Yeah. So, I guess talking about business growth being relational rather than a set of systems. We'd always say you've got to have some systems, but in a way, I almost think I'd like to think of it, the systems are there to give you time to build the relationships. Maybe that's a nice little way of joining those two together. If you're constantly firefighting all the time,
Yeah.
Not good. You haven't got time to do any of that stuff, have you? But actually, if you can get some good systems in, it means that you've got the time free, the headspace.
Well, do you think some people regard the relationship building bit as a bonus rather than the essential bit of it? That if you haven't got time, then you can skip that bit. Do you think they think that? It's just very transactional.
I mean, some businesses are transactional in nature, but I still think you still have a customer, right? You still have a...
Yeah, but I think the transactional businesses that do well are those that simulate the relationship in some way. You know, even like that, we talked before about the 2025 wrapped stuff that came out on all sorts of SaaS platforms. They're trying to build a relationship with you, and you say, like, I remember what you did this year. Or even with Amazon, maybe people have a relationship with Amazon. You know, you might need some more of these because you bought them before type stuff. I don't know if that quite counts, but how you do it on a mass scale. But certainly the businesses we talk to, SMEs, business-to-business type businesses, then, yeah, there's definitely a place for getting to know a little bit about your various customers, aren't there?
Indeed. So I think there's probably something about a kind of relational journey that we're maybe all familiar with.
Well, there's a lot of words from relationships which are peppered into the business lexicon.
Yeah, so the Venn diagram of the relationship business process is actually stronger than one might think.
Well, the human relationships anyway, whether they're in business or in relationships with a capital R, it's all about two people coming together that didn't know each other before for some mutual benefit, right? Which is business. And so we could probably think about the various different aspects of the business, maybe using a model that we're familiar with. Could you pluck one out of the air that maybe listeners might be familiar with?
Maybe there might be six stages or six
stages of
discrete
relationship.
Areas.
This wouldn't be the 6-box model, would it, Rich?
The infamous
the Wellmeadow 6-box model makes another appearance. Shocking. Okay, so
but it's you know in this we're going to, rather than get technical with it, this time we're going to overlay relational architecture over the top.
All right. So give me the relationship equivalent to the inbound.
So inbound is it's sort of attraction, isn't it? So you've set your
fatal attraction.
You've set your stall out. You know, you've kind of you've got you there.
Yeah.
And maybe you're trying to
pick me.
Yeah, you're kind of you're wooing. It's the wooing phase, isn't it? Maybe you're putting things out there.
So is this like your dating profile on your dating app?
Yeah.
Setting up your profile with your picture and your hobbies and all that. This is
well, and you put yourself out there as well, don't you? It's like you're sort of, what's your brand like? What's your, you know, how do you come across? What's my values?
Yeah, what am I into?
What's communication style, etc. What's my credibility? You got it's underpinned by a bit of trust and stuff in there as well. But it's that's a big thing. But it's it's a bit like you're setting yourself out to say, here I am.
Well, and you want to attract the right sort.
Come and talk to me. Yeah.
So if you were into heavy rock and kayaking, just to pick two things, you'd probably choose a profile picture and talk about yourself in those terms to put off people who are into classical music and cats. Not to say that kayakers couldn't also be into cats, but
yeah,
it's dangerous thinking on your feet. Okay, so your brand is all about communicating in simple, immediately digestible terms. What are people going to get if they approach you for a relationship?
And I think as well, you're also maybe with that, you're setting some boundaries, aren't you? So not only are you saying
what you are into,
what I am into, you're also saying what I'm not into.
Yeah, I hate cats, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
For the audience, I don't hate cats.
I do. So,
you hate dogs as well?
No, I quite like dogs.
Only of a certain size. I think they've got to be above the knee.
Big dog, yeah.
A dog below the knee isn't a dog.
It's not a dog.
That's just a cat that barks.
Yeah. But no, so you're also, so the kind of the inbound analogy, the attraction side of thing is going to be, right, who am I set my stall out to bring in, and who am I also not? So putting those boundaries in place as well.
Yeah. So clarity about your ideal customer profile in relationship terms is who your ideal partner would be.
Yeah. What's the fit?
Okay, so there's a very clear overlap there then between inbound and attraction. Okay.
So then another way
after inbound.
So if people aren't coming to you,
outbound.
You might think, how do I go to them?
Have to go to them. Yeah.
So that's an intent.
So you've got a dating profile, but no one clicks on it. No one swipes either left or right. I don't know which way it works.
No one, Yeah, I wouldn't know, to be honest. It scares me.
Well, we were of an era that
if I ever had to venture back into this,
you'd be rubbish at it, wouldn't you?
Well,
you'd need probably number 3 coming up in a minute.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, box number 2. Box number 2 then was the outbound.
Intentional pursuit.
And no one's coming to find you, so you've got to go and find them. You're sharking.
Yeah.
So what, you're going down the gym?
Probably. They'll be like, he's that weirdo hanging around.
Hanging around the weights. Work, would it?
No.
Yeah. Going clubbing on your own.
Yeah.
You're going to get arrested
I'd be that
for that
guy, just kind of in the corner.
Waiting to be to spot someone. Okay, so outbound it probably got a similar sort of icky feel about it all, really, because outbound in business has smacks of cold calling, cold emails, outreach to people that don't want it, getting a lot of rejection. Actually, it's very similarly, not very attractive pursuit, is it really?
Yeah,
you'd rather have people come to you.
Sort of a numbers game, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is a numbers game. Yeah, if you're into the whole Andrew Tate world, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole, do you? But anyway, so outbound is definitely an intentional pursuit of some sort, going after. You've still got to be clear what your ideal partner would be like, haven't you? And in business terms, where do those sort of people hang out? Yeah,
and I think in the business terms of it, you've got to think, well, if I actually meet someone, if I go after someone, have I got something of value to offer? Right, that's still a key point there, isn't it? Have I kind of got something? If I do get a response, what am I going to talk about?
True, you got to have a chat.
And I think there's a lot of spray and pray in business around outbound.
Well, and a lot with no chat. They're so surprised that someone will actually talk to them. They then can't follow through with something compelling to. Well, now you've got my ear. Don't just read that flipping script at me. Tell me that you've actually looked at my website and you know what I might want. So it's a bit of a two-way. You invest first, which is hard to do at scale.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, actually, as well, there's a lot of talk about all-bound now as well. The kind of inbound, outbound. Actually, they're not as distinct as maybe the line isn't quite so clean as people want. So I think...
Yeah, there's certainly an overlap, but I still think that they are directionally different, aren't they? Proactive and reactive. So outbound definitely exists in business, and it definitely exists in relationships. It's not quite as... People don't like doing it.
Is it like a blind date? I've got my Cilla Black.
You're blind.
Come on down.
What was the theme tune of that? A mate of mine from Circuits went on blind date. He showed us the clip of it when he was a younger man.
Oh, really? Oh, the actual with Cilla?
With Cilla.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was on the television show. He was the bloke with the 3 women.
Oh, what did she used to say? We should have looked this up before, really.
Yeah, should have done. Anyway, so blind date. So which one is blind date? I think that might be touching on the third box.
Is that more referral? Is that
referrals? The third party involvement. Because the point in business about referral isn't that just someone gives you a long list of names. Oh, here are all my clients. Help yourself. They've made some judgment, haven't they? They've said you might match this person. So if you have a mate, you're single, you have a mate, and they introduce you to another one of their mates. It's because they're not just randomly doing that. They're thinking you might actually get on.
It's a good match.
Yeah, they're not going to do it if they don't think you're going to argue, are they? They say, I don't want two of my mates falling out with each other.
You've done that?
Introduced other people, yeah. Well, my wife and I were introduced by a friend, and in turn we introduced a friend of mine to a friend of hers who got married, and they in turn introduced a friend of the woman to a friend of the man, and they got married. So there's a chain reaction of 4 couples there that all were introduced one after the other. Days before dating apps, you see.
Ah, there you go. Old school. The Rolodex of the dating app.
So in my world, the referral bit has been the most successful. If I think about people I know, I bet most of them were introduced. Where else? If you meet at work, where would that be? Will that be an inbound one? Maybe? I don't know.
Actually, on a slightly separate note, but related, apparently stats says something like 90% of affairs start at work.
Well, I suppose if you think about it, you do spend a lot of time. There's the whole joke about the work husband or the work wife. Spend a lot of time with people at work, don't you? So, to the point they can either annoy you or maybe.
But it's because the theory is that we've made marriage very functional. So you almost like 2 professionals operating in a marriage with no sense of common purpose.
Really? So
you sort the kids out, you sort this out. I'll get the plumber.
Because you got so busy,
do this, and everyone's got really busy.
It just reduces
so you lose that purpose. So there's a little side quest.
Right.
I would say, make sure you've got that joint purpose.
Okay, so Inbound is your dating app and you're putting yourself out there and people approach you. Outbound, no one responds to that, so you go looking for them in places where you think you might be, join a club or go to a gym or whatever you do. And referrals are where you rely on your mates to introduce you to someone and maybe set up a blind date. Or maybe you know them anyway and they've just needed that nudge. So that's the referral bit.
Ta-ra, ta-ra, that's what she used to say, isn't it?
That's going to ring around in my head now. So with Cilla, we'll have to have some Cilla Black music to introduce it. So fourth box in the 6-box model was what we call in business terms the nurturing part. This made me think of the Harry Met Sally situation. People already know each other. They're not new. They've known each other maybe for a long time. And you're just good friends.
Friend-zoned.
Friend-zoned. So you just keep in touch. Let's do lunch. And you keep in touch.
See what happens.
And see what happens. And sometimes nothing happens for years. Something never happens ever. You might unsubscribe, drift apart. Or maybe after a long enough time of being just good friends, you decide, maybe it's worth giving it a go.
Reconnect at that school reunion.
Which could kill the friendship.
Could. Same. But no.
So I think that's nurturing. You don't want to ghost. That's probably another, because ghosting happens in relationships, doesn't it? That happens in business too. People don't respond to your emails and stuff.
That was happening a lot. There was a phase a while ago, and it wasn't just us. I was talking to a couple of other guys in the office who run different businesses, where it was nurturing or a deal or something was going on for ages, and all of a sudden it would just be like, right, comms stop.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually noticed that recently, but there was a phase a couple of years ago, like 12 months ago, where people, you just get to a point in a deal, you're offering value, great, this is great, then just nothing. Yeah. And for love nor money, you couldn't get in touch with people.
And you just got to be polite about it. Surely even in our relationship world, you do the dear John, that this isn't working. It's not me, it's not you, it's me. It's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
Whichever. But the point of nurturing, in both senses, is that you gradually build value over time. So maybe in the relationship sense, it's some loose acquaintances that keep in touch, and gradually over time they realise actually there's more to this person than I first realised. Now I've got to know them a bit better. It takes time to mature, doesn't it? So that's your nurturing. Okay, so the sales pipeline. How does that equate to a relationship world?
Well, this is when
you enter the sales pipeline.
You've got to bite. And there's lots of, we were talking about this.
So is that first date?
There's quite a lot. You've got to, check. Well, you've got the words like engagement that we use.
Engagement, yeah. Send a proposal.
Send a proposal.
All these relationship words.
All of these kind of,
Yeah.
It's
But you don't really qualify your leads. Well, maybe you do.
Well, I actually know someone who did qualify his leads when he had a series of dates over a number of weekends with different ladies, and there was, I think, probably some form of rubric in place in terms of evaluation criteria, and then he went with one.
Do you think he scored them?
I think there probably was.
But it's scoring you wrong.
But I won't say any names to protect the guilty. But,
they're probably very wise. The lawyers are listening.
I just thought it was probably nice to have options.
My goodness.
But
like glad we're not in that position anymore.
Yeah, so it's maybe.
So first date, you have a bit of a chat. You're starting to work at the lie of the land. Have we got something here in common? That's all part of the business relationship building, isn't it? Just as much as it is in a human relationship world. But it progresses through that stages. Like you say, you get to the proposal stage.
Well, I think there's that kind of.
So what's the win?
Relational bit in the pipeline, isn't there? You are, as you're meeting people, it's not purely transactional. Whenever you're having a kind of pipeline conversation. And I think people don't really want that. We're all human. We all want relationship.
Well, it's multi-layered, isn't it? You've got to know the basics of, do you smell? Are you into the same sports as me? Are you of similar enough age? Do you both want kids, not want kids? All those sort of things. But at the same time, it's, can I trust you? Am I going to, if I'm going to spend a long time in a relationship with someone, whether it be in business or otherwise, are we going to be able to get on longer term? That's a difficult one to...
That is, yeah. So, but I was thinking more of the pipeline there. You've thrown me with the do you want kids? Next time I ask someone, next time I do a deal qualification, do you want do you want kids?
You're mixing your metaphor with your reality.
I'm not sure where I am anymore. Am I proposing? but no, I think the important part is that, as whatever, if you are working, a deal or something, it's not it's not all transactional. And I think there are stages you go through as you're working with people where that relationship expands.
Well, but we do it even when we're selling, and people ask us how our support works. We say, well, look, we're in this for the longer term. We like retainers so that we can be on a journey with you to grow your business. We don't really want a transactional in and out sort of just do an implementation of HubSpot type of job where we never see you again after the first month. So that's the do you want kids bit, isn't it? Are you going to stick around? Are we going to make something more of this? And we're going to help the bigger thing grow rather than let's just provide a very discreet
But if you were being
thing.
Cynical, and maybe this might be an interesting path to go down, or maybe not.
Already I'm nervous.
But you would just say, well, that's what you want, though, isn't it? That's just part of the hustle.
That's what you would say.
If I was on the end of that, well, of course everyone wants a long-term relationship. But I'm like, actually, long-term relationships are a lot more.
No, it's hard.
Productive.
I'm not sure if everyone, even in our business world, would necessarily say that. I think some businesses in our space have set up deliberately to do the opposite. And just say, let's have a factory here where we just churn onboardings and we get people set up and running, and we move on to the next lot, because that's easier to replicate. If you want to say to somebody, I want to be around for 2, 3, 4 years and help your business grow, you've got to keep fresh. You've got to keep coming up with new stuff all the time. So that's the hard bit.
See, but that's where I think, back to my previous point in the last podcast about being people. We probably are more people than we think we are. But it's a different way. It's not a gooey, rah-rah people. It's people that create businesses that are trying to realise their vision, their goals, etc. And you have a innate kind of, we want to support you in that.
Yeah, and how many times have we had clients say it? You have more passion about my business than some of the people who work around here. You seem to really care about wanting this to move forward. And they love their chats with us because we're all on a similar level. Okay, so you get to the end of the sales pipeline part and you get to a wedding. So that's the deal close, right? There's a ceremony, an exchange, a signing and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is actually,
so you have to sign
quite like...
Yeah, sign the contract. It is a contract. In sickness and in health and all that stuff. Termination clauses. Prenups, God knows what. So then you enter into the sixth box in our model, the account management bit, the client retention bit. That's marriage, right? That's where you then have to think about this as a 50-year long-haul project. More than halfway through.
Yeah, no, that's the...
That's where you got to keep it fresh, keep communication. Exactly. You've done that. That was the wedding bit.
That's true, yeah.
This is the bit about working out how to spend the rest of your life with someone else. So that's your business bit, isn't it? And this isn't just, right, we've done the deal, forget it, move on to the next one. Let's just hope it'll be okay. That's where you've got to carry on putting the effort in.
Well, I always say to people, when I talk about marriage...
3 C's.
The three C's.
If no one listened to Richard King's speech on the 25th of December, please go back.
Communication, compassion, and kindness are the 3 C's that will support any marriage.
And it's amazing you still get feedback saying you made a mistake.
But no, I think, a bit like we were talking before, so I think, very crude level, you could look at it in decades. Yep. So you say, right, so you've been married for 10 years. When you're married for 10 years, you don't want to be... You both want to be moving on, right? So when you've been married for 30 years, you don't want to be married to, you're still married to the same person, but you've both evolved. So I always look at it in our marriage, every decade we evolve into not different people, but you've grown as people. So I don't want to be necessarily now, we've been married for, 25 years or something like that, to the same person that we were when we actually got married.
Well, that's because you don't want to be the person.
No, exactly. So you go. So, but I think that's true as well with client relationships, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to still be, if you've been working with someone for a long time, you're actually wanting to be maturing together, which is a little bit like what we were saying before.
Yeah.
So that's like long-term client relationships. You can't just stay static and be like, right, well, I'm the 25-year-old, but we've been you don't want to still be acting like a 25-year-old when you've actually been working together for 5-6 years. You need to be maturing in that relationship, as you said, in the same way that you would in a marriage.
Well, we noticed that with some of our board support clients, don't we? That you've been around for, in some cases, 20 years. You've got an awful lot of history together. So the fact that someone else could come in theory, and do what we do, but without any of that background, they're not going to be able to have context or adapt accordingly and really understand someone's needs if you haven't been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what it's like after you've had, in your case, 25 years of marriage, right?
And you've got to keep growing in it, haven't you? You've got to keep growing. You've got to keep reading. You've got to keep developing. You've got to keep bringing something fresh to it.
Yeah, otherwise it just fizzles out, it's transactional and all that.
Well, you don't want to be that couple in the restaurant, do you? They're both like sipping their soup, just kind of watching the clock.
Counting the peas.
We just have to be...
What's it?
just sort of have we just have to be here, so then we can drive home. And
do you ever do that in restaurants and you're having a chat with your wife, presumably you do, and you look across and there's a couple sat there and they're just not talking at all? Well, these days they might even both be on their phones.
Both on the phones,
But let's say they weren't on. That really amazes me. But even if they're not, then they're just sat there not saying anything to each other. Have you run out? Is that it? You've said everything there is to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Value has stopped being added. Okay, so the nastier side of all this is at the end of our 6-box model, we've got a little box called Churn, customer churn, and we all know what that translates to in relationship world.
Yeah.
So what are the main relationship killers then in both business and relationships that we can draw parallels between? Inability to speak.
Inability to speak is probably right. Poor communication.
Communication.
She said that's one of the 3 C's.
3 C's, yeah.
Poor communication. You've got to keep short account on your communication.
Mm-hmm. Frequent, meaningful communication.
Make sure you're talking the same language.
Yep. Okay. What about expectations? Expectations can grow apart, can't they, in business as well as in relationships?
Definitely.
Yeah. Started out being all right, but no, hang on, I don't want kids.
But good communication will go a long way to managing expectations, isn't it?
Set out with the right.
And I think expectations is also about honesty, isn't it? There's a level of kind of like, well, what is it you're actually looking for here? What are we actually trying to solve? Yeah.
Not investing enough time in it, sort of neglecting the relationship itself. Lack of boundaries.
Boundaries is a big one. When to say no, when to say yes.
Scope creep. It says here. What's scope creep in a marriage?
Well, I suppose, I don't know. I could get very...
maybe...
But no, you definitely... Everybody needs boundaries. Everyone needs boundaries.
And feedback. Maybe even a bit of external advice as well. Where friends can...
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of the mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't exist in a vacuum.
The humility to take it as well.
There we go. So we've managed to somehow mash up the whole business cycle as depicted by the Wellmeadow 6-box model into the whole relationship cycle.
Whole relationship.
From dating apps through
Imagine if this was now our best ever listened episode.
They get completely the wrong idea about
turned into like agony.
I think we can start get a letter bag.
We might get a letter bag, yeah.
Dear Rich.
Dear Rich.
My husband. What would you do? There you go. Well, can I just point out, if anyone's listening, then it's Dear Rich, not Dear Dave, because he's the people person.
Yeah, I'm the people person.
He said...
Send them my way.
Send your way. And
any marriage advice
give your agony uncle advice.
Any marriage advice.
It's like a new column in our newsletter.
Section in the email.
This month's... You can do horoscopes.
This month's relationships. Well, I'm not doing horoscopes, but I'll do relationship advice.
So thank you for marking Valentine's Day this year then.
Well, thank you, Meg, for suggesting it.
A relationship-themed episode.
We'll have to go
well, Lisa, do you think that came up with something interesting there then? You did say that it unintentionally comes out of it all. I do wonder, especially on the marriage/account management bit, whether people properly think about how to continually add value.
Yeah.
Or whether they take their existing customers for granted and spend all their time looking for another one.
Yeah.
Maybe people can take...
You've got to put the effort in both the marriage and the client relationships.
Yeah.
It's about effort and keeping it fresh. And
maybe the slight difference is that once you're married, you don't carry on looking for other customers. Yeah. That's not quite...
that's where the analogy
I think the metaphor is broken at that point. Yeah. But up until there... Yeah, we held it together. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you again, Meg, for suggesting that. Hope that was what you expected when you suggested that topic. And thank you for listening to another episode of the SME Growth Podcast from Wellmeadow. As we say each week, tell your mates. I'm not sure whether this one you might choose carefully who to forward this to. They might get the wrong idea. But anyway, thank you very much and good luck with your business.